जय श्री राम। अब हम कैंटो 15 मैं पढ़ने जा रही हूँ, हम सुनेंगे। Shringar conducts a sacrifice for securing the birth of sons to Dashrath. The gods approach Brahma in that very sacrifice with a prayer for bringing about the death of Ravan. Brahma implores Lord Vishnu, also present there, to descend in the house of Dashrath and do away with Ravan, and the Lord undertakes to kill Ravan. Having deeply pondered a little then as to what should be done next, and presently becoming conscious of his surroundings, the highly intelligent Shringa, well versed in the Vedas, spoke to King Dashrath as follows. For the sake of securing sons to you, I shall duly perform a sacrifice capable of procuring a male progeny and well known for its unfailing effect with the help of mantras taught in the Atharva Veda. For securing the birth of 4 sons to Dashrath, the glorious Shringa forthwith commenced the said sacrifice capable of procuring a male progeny and poured oblations into the sacred fire according to the procedure shown in the sacred texts. The various gods, including Brahma, accompanied by Gandharvas, celestial musicians, Siddhas, a class of semi-divine beings naturally endowed with mystic powers, and the greatest of seers assembled there to accept in person their share of offerings according to the established procedure. Approaching Brahma, the maker of the universe, in that very assembly, congregated for the sacrifice according to their respective rank, of course unperceived by mortal men, the aforesaid divinities presently addressed the following prayer to him. By the dint of the prowess acquired through your grace, O Lord, the ogre named Ravan is molesting us all. We cannot subdue him. A boon was conferred to him by you while he was practicing austerities. O Lord, pleased as you were with him and respecting it as we do, we have always brooked all his wrongdoings. The evil-minded fellow is harassing all the 3 worlds, hates the exalted, prosperous, and seeks to overpower even Indra, the Lord of Paradise. Infatuated by the boon conferred by you and hard to subdue, he treats profanely rishis and yakshas, including Gandharvas, the Brahmins, and demons. The sun does not scorch him in midsummer, the wind does not blow furiously past him. Seeing him, the ocean does not get agitated, though naturally consisting of turbulent waves. Therefore, we are much afraid of that ogre of frightful aspect. Be pleased, O Lord, to devise some means of putting an end to him. Pondering a while, when prayed to thus by all gods, Brahma now said, I am glad the means of dispatching that evil-minded fellow has come to my mind. Let me prove incapable of being killed by the Gandharvas and Yakshas, gods and ogres. This was the prayer addressed by him to me, and so be it, were the words uttered by me then. The said ogre did not mention human beings on that occasion out of contempt for them. Therefore, he is doomed to being killed by a human being alone. Otherwise, there is no death for him. All the divinities and the great rishis mentioned above felt supremely delighted at that moment to hear this happy revelation communicated by Brahma. In the meantime, arrived there, riding on the back of Garud, the king of birds, as the sun on a cloud, the extremely resplendent Vishnu, the Lord of the universe, clad in yellow and wielding a conch, discus and mace in his hands, nay, decked with a pair of armlets of refined gold, and being glorified by the foremost of God. Nay, meeting Brahma, he took his position there in that assembly, composed in mind, duly extolling him, and bent low in reverence. All the gods prayed to him as follows. With intent to ensure the good of the world, O Vishnu, we are going to lay a burden on you, yourself taking the form of 4 personalities, O all-pervading Lord, play you the role of a son to the munificent King Dashrath, the ruler of Ayodhya, who knows what is right and is possessed of splendor equivalent to that of rishis through his three wives Kaushalya, Sumitra, and Kaikai, who are akin to Hri, Shri, and Kirti, daughters of Daksha. Appearing in a human semblance through them, O Vishnu, pray, make short work of an encounter of Ravan, the scourge of the world, who has grown very strong and is incapable of being killed by gods. Through excess of prowess, that fool of a Ravan, who has developed the disposition of an ogre, is actually oppressing the gods, including the Gandharvas, the Siddhas, as well as the noblest of rishis. Nay, because of such a disposition, Rishi as well as Gandharvas and Apsaras supporting in the Nandanvan were knocked down from heaven with by that fierce ogre. For getting rid of him, we as well as Siddhas, Gandharvas, and Akshas have come here along with hermits and have sought you as our protector for the same purpose. O Lord, you are the supreme resort to us all, O chastiser of foes. Therefore, resolve to descend into the mortal plane for the destruction of the enemies of gods. Thus extolled by the gods and others, Lord Vishnu, the ruler of gods, and the foremost among them, the adored of all the worlds, addressed as follows the assembled gods, headed by Brahma, the progenitor of the entire creation, who were all given to piety. Give up all fear. May good betide you, dispatching on the field of battle in your interests the cruel and formidable Ravan, who is difficult to overpower and is the terror of gods and rishis, along with his sons and grandsons, including his ministers and counselors, kinsmen and relations. I shall remain on the mortal plane, ruling over this globe for 11,000 years. Sorry. Having granted the aforesaid boon, the high-souled Lord Vishnu, the adored even of gods, now thought of Ayodhya, the place of his projected birth on the mortal plane, then himself taking the form of four personalities, the Lord, whose eyes resemble the petals of a lotus, wished King Dashrath to be his father in that descent. Thereupon the gods, rishis and Gandharvas, accompanied by Lord Rudra and bevies of Apsaras, extolled Lord Vishnu, the destroyer of the demon Madhu. By means of hymns depicting his transcendent personality, and arrogant Ravan, possessed of terrific energy, the enemy of Indra, the ruler of gods, the scourge of aesthetics, and the terror of hermits, whose vanity knows no bounds, and who makes people scream by his tyranny. Having but killed the aforesaid Ravan of terrible prowess, who makes people loudly wail by his tyranny, along with his army and kinsmen, and thereby rid of anxiety, your devotees come back, O ruler of gods, to heaven, Vaikuntha, your everlasting abode, guarded by yourself and free from all impurities in the shape of frailties like partiality and prejudice. Thus ends Canto 15 in the Balakand of the glorious Ramayan of Valmiki, the work of a rishi and the oldest epic. अब इसमें हम क्या देखते हैं इस वाले चैप्टर में कि श्रृंग ऋषि ने सारा विचार करके उन्होंने फिर राजा दशरथ से कहा कि आपके पुत्र के प्राप्ति के लिए मैं सैक्रिफाइस अभी अपना यज्ञ शुरू करता हूँ। मंत्र और ये सारा कुछ अथर्ववेद में है, दिया हुआ है, उसी के अनुसार मैं सारा करूँगा। और फिर सारे अलग देवताएं वहाँ पहुँचे, ब्राह्मण पहुँचे, गंधर्व पहुँचे, सिद्ध पहुँचे, सब लोग वहाँ पे पहुँचे और ब्रह्मा जी भी वहाँ थे। और फिर सब लोगों ने ब्रह्मा जी से बोला कि आपको प्रसन्न करने के लिए रावण ने बड़ा कठोर तप किया था और आप प्रसन्न होके आपने उनको वरदान दिया था, और वो वरदान के वजह से अब रावण को किसी भी चीज़ का भय नहीं रहा और उसको लगता है कि वो जो मर्जी वो कर सकता है। और इसके वजह से वो सबको, पूरे पृथ्वी पे, पूरे तीनों लोकों में उसने सब तरफ त्राहिमाम मचा दिया है, सबको तकलीफ देता है, तकलीफ देता है। एंड और वो अभी मतलब किसी को भी वो बख्शता नहीं है, किसी को भी वो शांति से जीने नहीं देता है। तो ब्रह्मा जी कृपया आप ही बताइए कि कैसे इसका अंत हो सके, रावण का अंत कैसे हो सके। ब्रह्मा जी सोच के बोलते हैं, अरे हाँ, जब मैंने उसको वरदान मांगने बोला था तो रावण ने बोला था कि मुझे ना गंधर्व, ना यक्ष, ना देव, ना दानव, किसी से भी मेरी मृत्यु ना हो। उसने मनुष्य के बारे में नहीं मांगा था वरदान, क्योंकि उसको क्या लगा, मनुष्य बड़े तुच्छ होते हैं, वो क्या मेरा भी ये कर सकते हैं, मेरे साथ वो, मतलब मुझे उनसे कोई डर नहीं है। और बोले अब क्या करेंगे हम, अब मनुष्य से ही उसकी मृत्यु होगी, ये सुनिश्चित है। उसी समय विष्णु जी वहाँ पधारते हैं, गरुड़ जी के ऊपर विराजमान होके। और जैसे ही वो आते हैं तो सारे लोग उनसे विनती करते हैं कि विष्णु जी अब आप ही कुछ कीजिए, आप प्लीज़ अवतार लीजिए और चारों पुत्र, आप अपने आप को 4 हिस्सों में परिवर्तित करके आप दशरथ राजा के 4 पुत्र बन जाइए और उसके बाद रावण को वध करके हमको रावण से छुटकारा दीजिए। तो विष्णु जी ने उनका सुन के उन्होंने बोला कि बिल्कुल नहीं, आप लोग डरिए मत, और मैं यही करूँगा, और मैं पृथ्वी लोक पे जन्म लूँगा। जन्म लेने के बाद मैं वो रावण से लड़ाई करूँगा और उसके पुत्र, उसके पौत्र, उसके मंत्री, उसके राज्य के जितने भी कुपात्र हैं सभी का मैं वध कर दूँगा। Now let us start with Canto 16, a dialogue between Lord Vishnu and the gods bearing on Ravan. On the disappearance of the Lord and attendant of Prajapati, Lord Vishnu, the protector of all created beings, rises from the sacrificial pit and hands over to Dashrath a basin containing milk boiled with rice and sugar, and the latter divides it among his wives. Solicited thus by the foremost of gods, the all-pervading Narayan, though knowing everything, thereupon addressed the following sweet words to the gods. What can be the device of dispatching the aforesaid ruler of the ogres? O gods, by restoring to which I may be able to uproot that thorn in the side of the rishis. Asked thus by the lords, all the gods replied to the immortal Lord Vishnu as follows. Assuming a human semblance, make short work of Ravan in battle. The fellow indeed practiced for a long time, O chastiser of foe, severe austerities by which Brahma, the maker of the universe and the progenitor of all created beings, got much pleased. Highly gratified, Brahma conferred on that ogre a boon to the effect that he would have no fear from the different species of created beings other than man. At the time of receiving the boon of yore, really speaking, men were treated as of no account and were left out of consideration by him. Elated thus by the boon received from the aforesaid Brahman, the progenitor of Brahma, the progenitor of the entire creation, he is oppressing all the 3 worlds and carries off women folk. Hence his death has been ordained at the hands of man, O chastiser of foes. Hearing the aforesaid submission of the gods, the high-souled Lord Vishnu then desired King Dashrath to be his father. Desirous of getting a son since he has no male issues, the aforesaid monarch too, who was possessed of great splendor and was capable of destroying his foes, performed at that very time a sacrifice calculated to procure him a son. Having made up his mind accordingly and saying goodbye to Brahma, the progenitor of the entire creation, the said Lord Vishnu disappeared even while he was being worshipped by the gods and great rishis. Then indeed there arose from the fire known as Ahavanya or the sacrificer, an extraordinary being possessed of matchless splendor and endowed with exceptional prowess and uncommon strength. Dark complexioned and with a ruddy countenance and a voice resembling the sound of a large kettle drum, he was clad in red and had soft and excellent hair, resembling a lion's all over his body, about his lower face, and on his upper lip as well as on his head. Invested with auspicious mark on his body and decked with celestial jewels, he possessed the height of a mountain peak and strode like a proud tiger. His figure shone like the sun, and he looked like a flame of blazing fire, and personally carried in both his arms a large basin of refined gold, full of ethereal, pious milk boiled with rice and sugar and covered with a silver lid, as though a product of magic, even as one would carry one's beloved spouse. Gazing at King Dashrath, he addressed the following words to him: Know me, O protector of men, to be a messenger of Vishnu, arrived here from his realm. Thereupon the king replied to him with folded hands, May my hearty welcome be acceptable to you, O divine personage. What shall I do for you? The servant of Lord Vishnu now spoke the following words to him. By worshipping the gods by means of a horse sacrifice and a sacrifice performed for the sake of a male progeny, has this reward been secured by you today, O king. Receive, O tiger among kings, this pious, prepared by the gods, which is not only capable of procuring a son, but also conducive to wealth and a promoter of health too. Give it to your wives that are worthy of you, that is, belonging to your own varna or grade of society, and sharing your virtues with the words, Eat it, all of you. Through them who partake of it, you will secure 4 sons for whom you have been performing sacrifices, O protector of men. Accepting delightfully with his head bent low and with the words, So be it, the aforesaid gold basin full of heavenly food and vouchsafed by the Lord, and greeting that extraordinary being of delightful aspect, the king, full of supreme joy, went round him clockwise as a mark of respect. Dashrath felt highly pleased to secure from him the pious prepared by the gods, even as a pauper would on obtaining riches. Having disposed of that duty of handing over the pious to the king, the most effulgent being of wonderful appearance then vanished into the fire itself, irradiated by beams of joy playing on his countenance. The gynecium to which he now hastened shone bright like the firmament illumined by the rays of the delightful autumnal full moon. Immediately on entering the gynecium, he spoke to Kaushalya, his eldest wife, as follows: Accept this pious, which is indeed calculated to procure you a son. With the object of getting them a son each, the king then gave half of the pious to Kaushalya, and the emperor made over 1/2 of the other to Sumitra, his second wife too. Again he gave half of the rest to Kaikeyi, and reflecting a while, the highly intelligent Dashrath gave the other half of the nectar-like pious once more to Sumitra. In this way the monarch apportioned the pious separately to all his aforementioned wives. All the aforesaid noble wives of the emperor deemed this apportionment as a unique honor, their mind enlivened through excessive joy of receiving the pious. Partaking of the excellent pious separately, the same moment these noble wives of the emperor actually felt before long, by virtue of it, the presence in their womb of offspring vying in splendor with the fire and the sun. Perceiving the aforesaid queens with offspring in their womb, quickened immediately afterwards, the emperor, who had attained his desired object, was adored by Indra, the rule of gods, and hosts of Siddhas and Rishis felt delighted even as Indra does in heaven. Thus ends Canto 16 in the Balakand of the glorious Ramayan of Valmiki, the work of a rishi and the oldest epic. सो इसके साथ ख़त्म होता है कैंटो 16। और इसमें हम देखते हैं कि श्रृंग ऋषि यज्ञ के लिए प्रस्तुत हो जाते हैं और नारायण वहाँ आते हैं एंड सब लोग उनको, जैसे मैंने बोला, सभी लोग बोलते हैं नारायण को कि हमें मुक्ति दीजिए रावण से। और फिर विष्णु जी भी उनसे कहते हैं कि तथास्तु, वैसा ही होगा। और उनको फिर वो पूरा विधि होता है अश्वमेध यज्ञ का, और वहाँ उसके अंदर से एक आह्वानीय आते हैं और उनके पास स्पेशल गुण रहते हैं, डार्क थोड़ा सा उनका जो रंग है, रंग रूप बड़े सुंदर होते हैं, डार्क होते हैं, काले होते हैं, और उनके शरीर में केश बहुत होता है और उनके शरीर में अलग अलग पवित्र चिन्ह भी होते हैं। और मतलब सूरज की तरह वो एकदम तपता हुआ शरीर रहता है, और वो एक पात्र में पायस रहता है उनके हाथ में। पायस को वो राजा जी को देते हैं, राजा दशरथ को, और बोलते हैं ये अपनी धर्मपत्नियों से को बांट दीजिए और फिर उनको पुत्र होगा। तो पहले वो जाते हैं रानियों के कक्ष में, कौशल्या जी को आधा देते हैं, और उसमें उसके फिर जो आधा रह जाता है उसके आधा के एक हिस्सा वो इसको देते, कैकेयी को देते हैं। फिर और दूसरी एक और आधा हिस्सा वो सुमित्रा को देते, थोड़ा और रह जाता है, वो 4 हिस्सा एक्चुअली करते हैं, एंड फिर सुमित्रा को 2 हिस्से और देते हैं। जैसे ही खाते हैं उन लोगों को महसूस होता है, उनको ऐसा लगता है कि हाँ, हम गर्व से है, और सभी लोगों को बड़ी खुशी होती है। इसी के साथ ये ख़त्म होता है, आज का ख़त्म होता है। अगला नेक्स्ट डे कल के लिए। जय श्री राम।